Left bracket L for 7J right bracket. Why should I check my credit ratings for free? Precisely why is it essential that I'm aware of what my overall credit score looks like? To respond to this point necessitates that we understand what a credit score is, as well as how it has become so critical. A credit score is simply a number that reveals your personal financial wellness at any single time period. It is actually important to convey that you typically can't review your credit rating free. We will determine why down the road. To acquire your credit score, 3 Gov designated credit bureaus pick up your current financial information and facts from providers and process it through a complicated equation. The resultant score can range from 300 to 850. Should your credit score is approximately 850 beyond 700, routinely you will be regarded as having a strong FICO score. If it is much less, most notably under 600, you are thought to have a weak credit score. The information employed to come up with your credit rating concentrates specifically with regards to how you have paid up your unpaid debts during the past. It records every single personal lines of credit you might have and investigates for how long you have had them, as well as how rapidly you have been paying them off. It also examines any legal decisions against you, along with police arrests, if there was any. So why do creditors wish to take a look at those records? We haven't yet discussed the reasons why you typically can't review your credit score free. Nevertheless, before working on that, let's have a look at why banks are looking for these facts. Ahead of the economic predicament, a lot of people were able to repay their unpaid debts with their banks. To be truthful, there had been bad debts, although not as much as those when compared to during and following the recession. Throughout the financial meltdown, a lot of us lost handle of their personal finances. Not only did they use up their personal savings, they got laid off, so their houses were taken too. The consequence was families that could not honor their financial obligation. At the same time, it was essential that lending continued. It's really an imperative function of a typical economic system. The perfect way to find out who to lend to is to review their budgetary records. Precisely how have they paid off their financial debts during the past? Have they declared bankruptcy? Could a loan provider distinguish via financial records if you will settle the money he advances you? And this is how credit histories and credit scores were crafted. They're just a way of ensuring that anybody that gets a new personal line of credit can afford to pay it off. This does not indicate that everyone who doesn't have a sound credit rating is disqualified from asking for financing. That would leave a huge number of individuals helpless to get credit. You'll find smaller lenders who are happy to provide loans to those with a bad credit score, even if at unusually high rates. You can find suppliers who supply you with small payday loans, terrible credit home mortgages, and perhaps student loans having poor credit. They curb their financial risk by insisting on very high interest. Returning to whether or not I am able to view my credit score totally free. Although a lot of sites tell you that it is possible, you usually can not view your overall credit score free of charge. Therefore, be mindful of internet sites you present your private data to as a way to get a totally free overall credit score. What you can get a hold of for nothing is a credit record. The explanation why you cannot really have a look at your credit score completely free is that it is actually intellectual property owned by the credit agencies. They use the material on your credit record, run it through complicated algorithms, and formulate your credit score. So if I cannot check my credit rating for free, what could I receive for free? Although you cannot take a look at your FICO score absolutely free, you will enjoy at least one free credit record from the 3 credit agencies, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax each year. When do you have to figure out what your credit score are? So when particularly must I dedicate some funds and look at my credit scores? Some individuals may state several times 1 year. However, I would probably suggest at a minimum 4 times yearly. This is beneficial, especially when you've got a low credit score. As you try to fix it, it is best to buy your credit score every 3 months to have a look at precisely how you are developing. It's also important to check your credit score prior to any petition for credit. You ought not be alarmed by the loan merchant due to bad credit. Moreover, if your credit rating is terrible, you need to repair it well before you request a whole new line of credit. Whom else should take a look at your credit scores and why? No company needs to check out your FICO scores, excluding when they are giving you capital. You can find some businesses that now necessitate FICO scores just before giving you employment. They would like to seek the services of financially accountable individuals only. Is a totally free credit score similar to the one you have to pay for? We've already mentioned that you are unable to always have a look at your credit rating absolutely free. So sooner or later, if you want to determine your position, you'll need to plunk down a few dollars to verify your credit ratings. Incidentally, all three of your credit ratings may very well deviate somewhat. This will happen for the reason that each credit bureau features a unique equation to establish their variation of your credit rating. Not to mention, it is vital to recognize all three, because you can't deduce which credit agency score a lender is likely to be using. Therefore, it's smart to look at all three credit standings regularly and be certain they're not very different.